Hey there, Jordan Sheridan, live from New York. It's Status Quo. Ooh, I just ripped that off from Saturday Night Live. Didn't even plan on it. It is Thursday, May 30th. We are getting close to June 2019. Oh my God, I'm old enough to remember 2018. Having a good day. We've been working on some things here at Status Quo. We're going to have some major surprises for you coming up this weekend, which we'll talk about. I have been working on a fairly significant story that I hope to be able to tell you about more later on. And Jen's working on some things. Ty is finishing our Flushing Flint documentary. Probably today, because tomorrow we're submitting it to Michael Moore's film festival. The deadline is tomorrow, so he's got to shorten that documentary today. He's been working on it. And we might have some good news on the documentary front very soon. So we're excited to tell you all these things. I could see that YouTube is already suppressing us. Isn't it remarkable that the first day I came back, so what was that? Today's Tuesday. As soon as I pressed the live button, we already had 50 viewers. But today, 10-minute countdown. We like to give you a little countdown to build up the audience here. Today, it's at 60 viewers after a 10-minute countdown. Who would have thought? It's almost like YouTube delays notifying or showing anyone in their feeds when we're live. But I digress. So, hope everyone's having a lovely day. Please, if you can, do your civic duty and smash that like button. I want you to smash the like button like your life depends on it. I want you to smash the like button. Like, if you don't smash that like button, status quo will evaporate and cease to exist. I want you to smash the like button like it's Joe Biden coming to you while you were a child, putting his hands on your shoulder and sniffing your hair. I said it. Smash the like button. The more people that press that like button, the more people that will see our live stream. And something you could do on top of pressing the like button, and it's that thumbs up right under the video, is press the share button. Sharing is caring. So if you press the share button, more people will also see it. So share it on your Twitter, your Facebook, all of those, even though all of those platforms are evil and suppressing content. It all helps somehow. You can become a Status Quo member. We are growing our membership. We're looking at our member meter. We are now at actually we grew last night, so this isn't updated. We're now at 410 Status Quo members. So we'll get more into membership later. Membership is how we grow. And again, we're going to have a major surprise for you this coming Sunday. So if you're not a member, if you've been sitting on the edge, I hope you'll consider joining before Sunday, because we're certainly going to need more money for this surprise. I also want you to follow us at Status Quo on the Twitter. We are growing there. We're almost at 6,000 Twitter followers on Status Quo, and we just started really tweeting at Status Quo. Like, it existed, but we were tweeting more from my account. Now we're tweeting more from Status Quo to try to grow that. So right there at Status Quo, follow and press the bell so you get our tweets. I'm at Jordan Sheridan. Subscribe to our podcast. That's also important. Leave us 5 stars. Rate us 5 stars. Leave a review. And join our email list at statusquo.com. So folks, sometimes you're looking. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see a top, this is a super duper chat. This is a super duper chat. So any contribution counts. We are also very much pushing our GoFundMe, which this Sunday we're starting back our Sunday marathon live streams. We're starting at noon Eastern time, and we're going to be raising money through the GoFundMe. And like I said, there's a little bit of a surprise this Sunday. What can it be? Anyone want to take a guess? What's the surprise? What is that surprise? Thank you, Colin Tooley, for making. No, Sven, the surprise isn't Comcast Joe Biden. Heck no. But there's a big surprise coming up this Sunday. And the surprise is going to require a lot more fundraising. Nope, not Kyle Kalinske. It's not a guest. It's not a guest. Pants made of spaghetti? No, but that would be delicious. It's not a guest, although we're going to have some great guests Sunday. I'm going to play some of the clips today, teasers of our interviews this Sunday, but not a guest. Ooh, GTA IV man, new team member. You know what, GTA IV man? I should have thought before I said this, and I motioned for what's the surprise. I should have thought, if somebody gets it, should I answer it? Let's just say, who is that? Who said that? GTA IV man? I'm not confirming new team member, but I'm also not denying it. That's a no answer or a no comment, as the crooks in our political sphere like to say. So I will not confirm or deny, but we do have a surprise, and it's going to require raising a heck of a lot more money, but we think you're going to like the surprise. So feel free, leave us a couple bucks. Trust me, if you leave money today, you're going to feel good about it on Sunday when you see the surprise. So let's get started. I was fishing around for some information on a different story. And sometimes when you fish around for information on a different story, you get a whole nother story. So I was looking into a particular donor. Jordan is a tease. I know, TB. I'm sorry, I'm such a tease. And remember, if you have not pressed the like button, smash the like button. We got 90 watching, 58 likes. So there's about 40 of you that have not pressed that like button. Smash it. Now, you're going to sing with Barbra Streisand? No. Michael Cooper, Jordan is hiring Abby, right? I would love Abby to come on the show. How can I hire her if she won't come on the show? I've asked her to come on before. I haven't heard back. So just saying. I love Abby Martin. But no, that's not the surprise. So, and I'm going to tease the surprise later more so we could play. So I was looking for information on another story, and I just stumbled upon. Remember a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned that CNN's largest donor, Kamala Harris's largest donor was the Warner Media Group. At the time, Warner Media Group was number one. Now it's number two, followed by University of California. So that list is Kamala Harris's largest and top donors in her entire career. And Warner Media Group used to be Time Warner. It's now Warner Media Group. And full disclosure, I should let you know, my younger brother works for Warner Media Group. So I'm covering it, so you should know that my younger brother works there. So Warner Media Group used to be Time Warner. Individuals from Warner Media Group gave $128,175 to Kamala Harris in her career. Isn't that interesting? So the parent company of CNN, the former parent company of CNN, it was CNN's parent company until last year. Got me? It switched. Now AT&T is CNN's parent company. The former parent company, Time Warner, which is now Warner Media, gave the most to Kamala Harris, is the number two donor for her entire career. That was never disclosed when CNN covered Kamala Harris. And what's interesting is, people on Twitter and people that like to criticize say, TB, you have an uncle to set me up with, Jordan? TB, how am I going to set you up with an uncle when I can't even find a woman for myself? How about you find me a woman and set me up with a woman? Sorry, I don't want to digress from covering Kamala Harris to my horrendous dating life. I digress. But CNN, when Warner Media was its parent company, individuals from Warner Media gave over $127,000 to Kamala Harris, and that was all during her Senate campaign in 2016. She became a senator. She won in 2016, inaugurated in 2017. So I always said, these people who are like, Jordan, it's not the company donating, it's individuals from the company. And remember, this is a super chat, and I need you to press the like button. Smash that like button. It's individuals. It's individuals who are donating. Well, do you think people at Time Warner which is used to be CNN's former parent company, were so jonesing for Senate candidate Kamala Harris that like it was the janitors and the low-end worker bees predominantly donating to Kamala Harris? No. It usually, when you see a company, even if it's individuals from the company, donating at high levels, it's usually executives from the company, senior management from the company, CEOs, and they're giving max donations. Technically, it's counted as individuals with the company, but it's high-end individuals that are executives, senior management, not the low-end worker bees, right? And why would Time Warner, now Warner Media, be donating to Kamala Harris? Maybe because Kamala Harris was going to be a senator from California, and most of the communications, entertainment, television, telecommunications epicenter is California. So, whatever. That was CNN's former parent company. But if you remember, when Kamala Harris launched her campaign in January to a huge crowd in Oakland, California, reportedly 20,000 people were there. She had a big crowd. CNN, within 24 hours, gave her a very, very nice town hall event. Do you remember that town hall event? If you want to call it a journalistic town hall, I would refer to it more as a pillow party, because they didn't ask her any tough questions. It seemed to me and a lot of progressives online that the questions from the crowd were pre-screened and fairly soft and fairly like a little gift to you, Senator Harris, to make you get nice sound bites. It was a very, very quick turnaround. She kicks off her campaign. 24 hours later, she has a very nice, softball, luxurious, and very, very, let's just say cushy town hall with CNN. Linda Mack, I didn't get notified that you were live now. Linda Mack, welcome to YouTube, or shall I say, FewTube. That's why I always tell you folks, to 134 of you watching right now, we got a channel, nearly 42,000 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Yet, nobody gets notified when we're live. If you get notified, you get notified an hour or two later. You're lucky if you get notified. So what I tell you, put it in your phone, put it in your iPad, put it in your laptop, put it in your pocket. I don't care where you put it. Put in a daily reminder, Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern. We are live. Status Quo is live. Don't wait for YouTube. Don't rely on YouTube, or shall I say, FewTube, to notify you. They're not gonna, at least on time. There's delays in their algorithm. There's never a delay when it's a CNN or MSNBC or corporate media outlet. But there's always a delay when it's Status Quo, Jimmy Dore, Jamal Thomas, Kyle Kalinske, Mike from the Humanist Report. You get the drill. So always put it in your phone as a reminder. And Sunday, noon Eastern, also put it in your phone as a reminder. Ooh, excuse me. Put it in your phone as a reminder. Noon Eastern, Sunday Marathon. Big surprise coming up. Big surprise. So, set yourself reminders. So, to refresh your memory on this town hall that CNN gave Kamala Harris within 24 hours of her announcing, reminder, CNN's former parent company, Time Warner, Warner Media, which, full disclosure, as I said, my brother works for now. I didn't tell him I was doing this, but my brother works for them, but, doesn't really matter to me. So I want to give you a reminder how tough this town hall was that CNN gave to Kamala Harris. Here we go.
Senator, many Democrats that I've spoken with agree that the primary objective for 2020 is to nominate the candidate that has the best shot of defeating Donald Trump. Some have also said that given what occurred in 2016 and the current political climate, that a male nominee will have a better chance this time around than a female nominee. Would you please respond to this so that this man has a response ready the next time a man tries to mansplain why a man would make a better nominee?
Well, my first response, Robert, is this, which is that the person who presented that point really is not giving the American voters enough credit. They're smarter than that. The people who vote, the people who live in this country are smarter than that. They're going to make decisions based on who they believe is the best leader.
Oh boy. Oh boy. You remember that? What a town hall that was. And by the way, I'm all for a female president. That's great. Oh, Byrne says, I really can't stomach watching this again. Please don't do this to us, Jordan. I'm sorry, but I'm getting to a point. Byrne ed out one. I'm getting to a point. So, what's unbelievable to me? What's up, Rob? I did your show. Go sign up to go subscribe to Rob's channel. Glad you bought a Status Quo t-shirt too. You could send a picture of you wearing it to info@statusquo.com. info@statusquo.com. So when you buy our merchandise, which you could do, go to statusquo.com, click on store, and you'll get our merchandise store. You could buy shirts and all this great stuff for the summer. Send us a picture if you want. info@statusquo.com, and we'll pop it up on our live stream. So let me get this straight. CNN's former parent company has given Kamala Harris $127,000. It's her second biggest donor in her career. Then Kamala Harris kicks off her campaign, right? 24 hours later, CNN gives her a pillow party with tough questions like that. I mean, he's a very nice young man, but come on, you don't think CNN loved that question and plucked his question out? Because they were trying to prop up Kamala Harris. At the time, they didn't know if Joe Biden was going to run or not. And in the beginning, CNN was giving Kamala Harris almost as much free airtime as they were an orange orangutan in 2015 and 2016. And remember, if you haven't pressed the like button, right there, smash it. So that wasn't the end of it, though, because I just went through Kamala Harris's donors for the first couple months of the 2020 campaign. Looky here. Who's Kamala Harris's second largest donor so far in the 2020 presidential primary? AT&T. CNN used to be owned by Warner Media until Warner Media sold CNN to AT&T last year. AT&T, or individuals working at AT&T, dumped in over $50,000 to Senator Kamala Harris's campaign in the first 3 months of this year. So, why is this important, you might ask? First of all, CNN is the same. It's always been CNN. But its last parent company, meaning its last financial owner, Time Warner, gave $127,000 to Kamala Harris's 2016 campaign. You following? Yes, it was individuals working for Time Warner, but it's not the low-end worker bees. It's the higher-end senior management executives giving a lot of money. That's how that works when it says individuals working for the company. Then Kamala Harris kicks off, big rally in Oakland, California. CNN, within 24 hours, gives her a big pillow fight, a big pillow party, a softball town hall to make her look wonderful. See, it took a while for CNN to give anybody else a town hall, including Bernie Sanders. I mean, they did, but it certainly wasn't 24 hours after he kicked off his campaign. I was there when he kicked off his campaign. They could have done a town hall with him the next day. I'm sure the Sanders campaign would have loved that. 24 hours, pillow party, and all while this is happening, by the way, CNN's current, now we're talking current parent company, is sending $50,000 to Kamala Harris's campaign. Now, I don't know if any of you like to torture yourself enough to watch CNN from time to time, but I watch CNN from time to time, and I can tell you, I have never, ever heard CNN anchors, CNN reporters, CNN anybody disclose the fact that our parent company has donated to Kamala Harris, or that individuals at our parent company are big donors to Kamala Harris. Don't you think that's kind of a big deal? You know, for example, let me think about it for a second. So Ben and Jerry, right? Ben and Jerry, who, by the way, is a company that I'd love to get a sponsorship with for Status Coup. If any of you know Ben or Jerry, let them know about Status Coup, because it's a progressive company. They believe in taxing the wealthy. They believe in paying their fair share. They make damn good ice cream. So I'm with Ben and Jerry. But I'm using Ben and Jerry as an example. So let's say Ben and Jerry became a sponsor to Status Coup. Or let's say that, I don't know, I invested my money. I don't have any, but let's say I invested to Ben and Jerry. Okay, so if there was a big story related to Ben and Jerry, a good story or a not so good story, and I did it, wouldn't it be kind of unethical if I didn't mention that either Ben and Jerry is a sponsor of Status Coup, which they're not, but we would love them to be. We would love Ben and Jerry to be a sponsor for Status Coup. Am I being a little too obvious? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me. It's just basic journalistic practice. You disclose who your parent company is. If your parent company is giving money to the political candidate you're covering, the audience needs to know that. The audience would probably want to know, oh, well, then how could you credibly cover her if your parent company is flooding $50,000 to her campaign? And again, I want to be clear. It's individuals working for AT&T that are donating the $50,000 to Kamala Harris. But as I always say, it's not like, do you really think that low-end workers at AT&T or even the average worker at AT&T is flooding like hundreds of dollars in donations to Kamala Harris? No. When you look at opensecrets.org, which is the Bible of following money in politics, you know, they do have the disclaimer under it that it's individuals from these companies, but it's often the higher end senior management executives. So you have to wonder, why is CNN's parent companies, both of them, formerly Warner Media that was dumping $127,000 into Kamala Harris's campaign, Senate campaign, and now AT&T, CNN's current parent company. Why do they want Kamala Harris so much? Because one would have to look at CNN's coverage so far of Kamala Harris, where she got a town hall 24 hours after her kickoff. The town hall was journalistically laughable. There was not one tough question. A CNN reporter was later shown to the CNN reporter that was assigned to cover Kamala Harris, so that reporter travels with the Harris campaign, literally was shown in a shopping store shopping with Kamala Harris. No, I'm not kidding. Like giving her tips on what to buy. That was the tough journalism Kamala Harris's, the CNN reporter covering Kamala Harris. And to me, this is less about Kamala Harris, who is just a dime a dozen faux progressive. Now I condensed to faux aggressive. But this is about CNN. CNN, why is it that they're putting, it seems, their last parent company and their current parent company, why is it that they're putting all their money into Kamala Harris? One would have to think it's because they know maybe she has similar characteristics to somebody like Hillary Clinton, who, if Hillary Clinton became president, nothing was going to change for CNN's parent company. There wasn't going to be tighter regulation on Time Warner, which is who gave Kamala Harris $127,000. There wasn't going to be tighter media regulation under Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton wasn't going to raise taxes on corporations. Hillary Clinton was going to let corporations do what corporations do, and that's buy off the government, including her administration, and basically operate in the capitalist, greedy, oppressive system that we have. Well, who is surrounding Hillary Clinton? Who is surrounding Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris's campaign, all of her top advisors were advisors for Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign. I believe her press secretary was with Hillary Clinton's campaign. Starting to see on several of her advisors that travel with her were Hillary Clinton staffers. Also, Kamala Harris has some folks that worked at the DNC in 2016 on her staff. Some of a significant amount of Kamala Harris's donors and top donors are the same people that donated to Hillary Clinton. So maybe CNN's parent company, both its former parent company, Time Warner Media, and now its current parent company, AT&T, maybe they're trying to prop up Kamala Harris to basically ride a horse that can beat Bernie Sanders. Is that conspiratorial of me? I just follow the money. I follow the money. When you have the last parent company putting in a lot of money to this candidate, and now you have the current parent company putting in a good amount of money to this candidate, one would have to think either they think she's just such an upstanding woman and politician and she's going to be great for the country, or this is the horse, this is their puppet that they're going to try to prop up. We know that they're trying to prop down Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard. CNN not disclosing the fact that its current parent company, AT&T, has given $50,000 so far in the campaign. That's just the first 3 months of the campaign. Who knows how much more they're going to give to Kamala Harris. It's highly unethical. It's pretty much a code in journalism that you disclose conflicts of interest. It doesn't matter that it's individuals who work at individuals that work at AT&T. It is an important disclosure. Like I said, it's not all. No one's going to say, oh, it's all just like the low-end workers who just love Kamala Harris. No. It's the high-end people working at these companies, and they're donating for a reason. And what I think is simply this. They didn't, AT&T, they didn't know if Joe Biden was going to run. Joe Biden is who AT&T and therefore CNN prefers. So they didn't know he was going to run. So at first they tried to push Kamala Harris. And when she didn't rise in the polls, they tried to switch to Beto O'Rourke. And when he didn't when he started standing on the bars, it was nice viral moments to make fun of him, but he didn't rise. And now Biden is in, and his financial information is not available yet because he got in after the FEC deadline for campaigns to file with the Federal Elections Commission. But I would venture to guess that when Joe Biden's information does become available to who's donating to his campaign, my guess, you're going to see AT&T, CNN's parent company. Kerry Quinn, welcome to the party. No notification from YouTube. What do I tell you? Don't expect a notification from YouTube. You gotta put it in your phone. 5 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. Noon Eastern, Sunday. You gotta put it in your phone. Reminder. Put it in as a reminder every day, daily. That's all I gotta say about that. So we reached out to CNN's press office to see, hey, why is it that you guys are not disclosing when you do segments on Kamala Harris that your parent company has given $50,000 to her? So far, we have not gotten an answer. I'm not holding my breath to get an answer, but we're going to keep following up. Do you think it's journalistically okay to prop up a candidate who your parent company is at the same time simultaneously giving money to? Do you think that the top anchors at CNN are unaware of who their parent company is donating money to? I'm not saying that AT&T does a conference call with CNN every day to tell them which candidates to prop up or prop down. But what I will tell you, it's very likely that CNN's journalists and anchors, they know who their parent company is giving money to. So we'll keep following up. But why this is important, I'm not just doing this topic to crap on CNN. How candidates like Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard, how they lose or how they get blacked out in Tulsi Gabbard's example, because she's getting no media attention, is when places like CNN, who are not actual journalistic outlets, they're just TMZ for politics. And they're just all day, they're paid to do two BS stories that are basically substanceless and just push narratives all day. But what CNN does is it broadcasts to a lot of older voters that if they keep seeing Kamala Harris constantly, or they keep seeing Joe Biden constantly, who are they going to typically gravitate towards? Or who are they going to think has the best chance? If their main source of news is CNN, and all they see is Joe Biden's winning by 20 points, or Kamala Harris is on the rise, or they're seeing town halls where the anchors at CNN are having like pillow parties with Kamala Harris, they're not going to look any more critically or scrutinize Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. And if they're not being exposed to Tulsi Gabbard by CNN, if when they are being exposed to Bernie Sanders, it's framing him as basically a communist, they're probably going to tend to vote for the establishment rather than give Bernie or Tulsi or anyone else a look. That's the problem. And as Jen is saying, turn status coup tweet notification on. We usually tweet out that we're live there. Correct. And as I like to say, make sure you put a reminder in your phone or your iPad or your laptop or on your refrigerator, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And by the way, not only is it interesting that CNN's parent company, AT&T, has donated $50,000 to Kamala Harris's campaign without any disclosure of that. When Anderson Cooper or Chris Cuomo or Don Lemon or any of these people do segments on Kamala, they don't disclose it. Darth Corey, $2 in the super chat. This is a super chat, and it looks like we're about to get hit by a thunderstorm tornado here. So keep us going in the super chat. But AT&T is a major player in the surveillance state we live under. AT&T is a big part of how the government and corporations are spying on you without your knowledge or consent. No wonder CNN doesn't cover the fact that Julian Assange is currently in the hospital wing of a British prison with his health failing rapidly. Reports say Julian Assange has lost a significant amount of weight. Reports say his lawyer can't even have a firm, coherent conversation with him because he cannot actually have a conversation or speak right now. Some reports, and there's not been many reports, say his condition is grave. Why is it that this isn't getting any attention? Because they all covered it when he was indicted on 17 ridiculous charges under the Espionage Act. They all covered that, but they're not following up when his health is so bad that he's been moved to the prison wing of Belfast prison. The hospital wing of a Belfast prison. Hank says they want him dead. I don't think you're so far off. So we'll get back to you if CNN responds to us. I'm not holding my breath. Pat, the Batman fan, $1.99 in the super chat. Appreciate what you do. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Before I get to the next topic, which is I'm going to give you a teeny little preview. I interviewed NSA whistleblower Bill Binney today. NSA whistleblower Bill Binney, he was with the NSA for 30 years. After he retired, he became a whistleblower. The FBI went after him. The NSA went after him. He was a big, even before Edward Snowden, he was a big whistleblower on the surveillance of the NSA and other things. I interviewed him today. We're going to air the whole interview on Sunday, but I want to give you a little tiny snippet of it today. I want to talk about our surprise for Sunday. I want to talk a little bit about our surprise for Sunday. And Jen, put the GoFundMe link in the super chat. So we got a fairly big surprise coming up Sunday. I don't want to make it like a surprise like, Bon Jovi or, Bono is coming on. It's not that level of a surprise. We've got a pretty big surprise. And you're going to see that surprise soon after noon Eastern. And the surprise is a big part of how Status Coup is going to grow. I'm not going to give you the full details, but it's the surprise is something that we're going to have to raise money for. Status Coup, we're looking at the calendar, and right now the campaign is in full swing. Bernie is in Nevada right now. He's going to California over the weekend. Tulsi is out on the campaign trail. Thank you, Gabrielle, for correcting me. He's not in Belfast. Assange is not in Belfast. I know where he is. Starts with a B. It's a prison that starts with a B. But thank you for the super chat, and thank you for correcting me that Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland. Appreciate it. Easy mistake for a prison. I know my brother lives there. Appreciate the support. So, the surprise, I think you're going to want to tune in Sunday, and I think you're going to want to go to GoFundMe right now and start donating. Because when you see the surprise, you're going to see that Status Coup is not messing around. Currently, there is no independent, progressive outlets out there on the campaign trail covering Bernie Sanders' campaign, covering Tulsi Gabbard's campaign, challenging Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or any of these people's campaigns. As far as I know, my old stomping ground, the Young Turks, they're not out there. As far as I know, Democracy Now!, who I happen to like, they're not out there. As far as I know, The Intercept, they're not out there. Henry, not going to be much of a surprise if you keep talking about it too much in advance. Thank you, Henry. I'm talking about it a lot today because Friday tends to get less viewers. So we have a fairly big surprise because Jen and I and Ty feel, you know what? Keeping it real, we don't have the money. We don't have the money as a company to cover the campaign as much as it needs to be covered. And I believe if we cover Bernie's campaign, if we cover Tulsi's campaign, if we get out to these other candidates' campaign and we actually challenge some of their voters, challenge some of their staff, it's going to wake a lot of people up. That's what I believe. But we need the money. So we didn't have the money, but I decided, and Jen decided, you know what? We're going to take a risk. I'm going to front some of the money for this surprise. So that's all I'm going to say. This coming Sunday, we got a fairly decent surprise for you. I hope you'll tune in noon Eastern, and I hope you'll start donating right now. No amount is too small. I think GoFundMe allows minimums of it's a minimum of $5, but after that, whatever you want to leave. So I hope you'll go. Take my word for it. You're going to love it on Sunday. Also, with the GoFundMe, we're also trying to grow our membership. That's another big way we're going to be able to cover this surprise. So check it out. We're now at, I believe, 410 members, so we got to update that. Membership is as low as $5 to $10 a month. It makes a big difference for you to sign up as a member. You get special bonus content. Jen has uploaded a member video yesterday. I just uploaded a member video. Ty is going to be doing more member videos now that he's done with the documentary. So membership, you're not only supporting real independent journalism so we can go out in the field and do the stories you care about, you're also going to get bonus content. So with that said, And remember, if you haven't pressed the like button on this live stream, what are you doing? We got 211 people watching, but only 158 likes. So I need 70 something of you. Smash that like button. Smash the like button. More people that press like, more people that see. So, and it is raining outside, so if you hear a little noise, it's rain. Now, Mueller spoke yesterday. Now Bill Barr did an interview. And, you know, this impeachment chatter. I spoke about it yesterday, but the genie's out of the bottle. Everybody is impeachment. Yes, I'm very frugal. You could ask Jen if I'm frugal. How many fights we've gotten in over money. Most of the time, it's me being very cheap. But I'm very cheap with your money. Trust me. So, speaking of, it's a super chat too. So Russiagate seems like to be the disease that never wants to die. Now there's all this chatter about impeaching Donald Trump. Jennifer, $2 in the super chat. Jordan, did you see Ryan Grimm's tweet about Biden? No, I did not. I'll have to check it out after this. So big push for impeachment. And there's also all this hysteria, you know, Russia is still attacking us. And I've always said, yeah, I think Russia pushed social media propaganda. Is Russia's social media propaganda significantly different than like David Brock and Correct the Record and the crap they put out there? No. But the corporate media doesn't seem to think that propaganda is dangerous to democracy. It's the Russian Facebook pages. It's the fake Facebook pages from Russia that steal elections and swing elections. I'm glad you said it. Somebody said distraction, because it is a distraction. So I want to show you, I did an interview that's going to air on Sunday with NSA whistleblower Bill Binney. And Bill Binney has gone on many shows, and he's been saying all along, it wasn't actually Russia, and it wasn't a hack. Russia didn't hack. And Bill Binney is an expert on metadata. He's an expert on patterns. For the NSA for 30 years, he predicted terrorist attacks before they were going to happen. And he also, there's a documentary about him, it's called A Good American, says he could have prevented 9/11 if he would have had access to the data that the U.S. intelligence agencies, including the NSA, completely missed it. So I spoke with Bill Binney today. We're going to air the full interview on Sunday. It's not edited yet, so I'm just going to show you a raw clip. This isn't the edited video. Here's what Bill Binney has to say about the Russia hysteria that we're now living under.
It's important to have you on, and it's a disgrace that the media, corporate media, wouldn't have you on, because you got your early days. I remember you were in Turkey, as an intelligence officer looking for patterns of the old Soviet Union. So you know the Soviet Union, now Russia, probably better than most of the schmucks they have on TV. And what I see is, you could talk about it more, obviously in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you had this really Cold War, McCarthyite viewpoint that it seems like they're bringing back now. It was kind of, and to me, it looks like kind of an attempt, obviously in the media for ratings and revenue, but in the government, what is your view of why they are so intent to stoke fear on Russia? Because I look at China and other places as an actual threat to the United States.
Well, that's because a lot of the public in the U.S. has been conditioned to fear the Russians because they're the big bad guys, and this is the way you stroke a new Cold War. So if you get the public to buy into we're having a Cold War, we can embezzle trillions of dollars from you, and bring it into the. I mean, we're talking trillions here now, years and years of. Look at all this money we spent in the Cold War. I mean, that must have been 50 trillion or something like that over the years. So it's a matter of I call that a swindle. They're trying to swindle us. So they're trying to use the preconditioned fear that was instilled in the Cold War as a way of stimulating the fear again and creating a new Cold War so they can embezzle more money from us.
Mm-hmm. And
that's fundamentally their plan.
And you look at John Bolton now, who reportedly, Trump's just suddenly realizing, oh, John Bolton loves war. But
yeah.
we're hearing, there's no evidence being provided that Iran's attacking, tankers, Saudi tankers, and, the threat of Iran attacking us is growing and growing and growing. And it seems to me to be very deja vu of 2002.
Weapons of mass destruction, too.
Right. And, Trump's administration has as many warmongers as W. Bush's.
Absolutely.
What should we know, in your expertise? Are you seeing the tea leaves and the patterns of the buildup to previous wars?
Of course, yeah. It's all emotionally driven. Like, even the Vietnam War was created on a lie. That Tonkin Gulf affair, that Tonkin Gulf attack, the North Vietnamese would supposedly attack one of our destroyers in the Tonkin Gulf. And that was what LBJ used as a method for going over and creating a war over there and killing maybe 2 million people over there and losing 60,000 of our own and a couple of 100,000 wounded and maimed, And he did that based on an attack that didn't happen. Even the captain of the destroyer was telling them they didn't happen, but he still used that as a pretext to going to war. And the same was true with Bush with weapons of mass destruction. The same thing, another lie. Use that lie to stoke fear and anger in the public and get them to back a war. So, and I see the same thing here with the Russians trying to create a new Cold War so you can get more money. It just hasn't turned that hot yet. But what they're trying to do is use it in the smaller countries so that we don't have to have a nuclear exchange. Mm-hmm. So, the threat for a direct war with Russia is nuclear exchange, and that wipes us all out. And comment earlier on when you mentioned my background on Russia. My ability, one of the main things that made the Russians weak is they are so disciplined and so structured and so organized and so straight down. They don't tend not to make mistakes. So if you looked at some of the material on the hacks that the CrowdStrike people are talking about, saying, "Oh yeah, here's the name of this Russian who started the KGB, and here's some Cyrillic left behind, and here's all these mistakes, and so therefore the Russians did it." Well, that's just absolute sloppy work. That is not characteristic of what I know Russians to do.
Mm-hmm. And also,
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, that's important. And also, it's not pointed out enough. And now that we have this new trinket about the Mueller report didn't pick up any of what you and your group found. Well, the DNC, no, we don't want the FBI to look. They don't allow the FBI to look at their servers.
Yeah,
Mueller, by reporting out there, never even tried to speak with WikiLeaks or Julian Assange, and he never tried to look at your data on basic showing. So it seems like it's one of those cases you can't find what you're not looking for.
Well, also, you don't want anything goes contrary to the narrative you want to create.
Correct.
And that's what this guy wants to do. He wanted to create that. Mueller wanted to create this atmosphere. That's exactly what he did, including his last statements in his exit there. Right. He again asserted the Russians did it, and he knows they did not.
Right. And
his exit there. Right. He again asserted the Russians did it.
So that was NSA whistleblower Bill Binney, who we will have a full interview with this coming Sunday. I think I spoke with him for pretty long time, definitely over a half hour. And we talk about Julian Assange and the indictment with Julian Assange. We also talk about the Iranian war propaganda that John Bolton and all them are trying to go to war with Iran. We also talk about the new surveillance, which is facial recognition. If you see what the government as well as corporate America is doing, they are creating and then executing facial recognition on you without your knowledge or consent, and then they're selling your data, your biometric data, to corporations or the government. Amazon, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just pointed this out. Amazon was working with ICE to do facial recognition on immigrants. That great company, Amazon. What would we do without Jeff Bezos? Thank you, Kelly Elaine. $10 in the super chat. Bill Binney Love. Then she said, wow, two $10. So that's $20 from Kelly. Thank you so much. Artificial Morphous Man, $5 in the super chat. We need Jimmy Carter's exit poll company to do nationwide exit polls for the Democratic primary. Only way to call out the DNC cheating, vote flipping. I don't think that's a bad idea. And I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carter. I hope he lives for 200 years. But that's a good idea, artificial morphosyn. So Sunday, again, we're going to air the full Bill Binney interview and reveal our surprise, which we hope you'll take my word for it and start going to that GoFundMe now. We haven't gotten anything while we're live in the GoFundMe, hint hint, but once you see the surprise, that you're gonna want to donate, because we're definitely gonna need to raise a significant amount of dough to pay for the surprise. But I think the surprise is gonna show you we mean business here at Status Quo. So, before my next topic, here's a little reminder. We're also trying to grow our membership.
Out front tonight, chaos at the White House. President Trump's deputy chief of staff, his communications director, is
just because of their connection to President Trump. And I know you've been saying...
We learned recently that Donald Trump threatened to sue his former schools if...
Tired of hearing about Trump 24/7? Become a member at statusquo.com for only $10 a month. Click the notification. With your help, we can start the media revolution.
And before Bernie went on stage, I spoke with his supporters online here, and you really get that feeling from them. A lot of people I spoke with said,
Ty Bayless with the wonderful, wonderful promo for Status Quo. Become a member as low as $5 to $10 a month. This is how we're going to grow for the long term. We currently have 410 members. We got to get that way closer to 500 as quickly as humanly possible. So consider, if you're spending $5 to $10 a month on something you don't need, I think you do need real independent journalism out in the field, which we're about to do way more stuff in the field. Become a member, statusquo.com/join. So I want to end tonight with a story that is tragic. It's a story that I'd like to cover on the road more, but we do need funding for. I did an interview yesterday with a father who just lost his son to suicide. So first I'm going to play a clip from Congressman Ro Khanna from California, who went onto the House floor to talk about the father and his son who just committed suicide. Let's play the clip from Congressman Khanna, and I'll come to you right after that.
Mr. Chair, I rise today to tell the sad story of Daniel Desnoyers, who took his own life because he did not have the money to buy the basic drugs that he needed for his mental health issues. Daniel Desnoyers was a young man who struggled with depression and psychosis, mental health issues that show no physical symptoms but take a deep psychological toll on those that they afflict. Daniel did the right thing. He purchased health insurance through the New York Health Insurance Marketplace from Fidelis, a subsidiary of massive international conglomerate Centena Corporation. In March, Daniel went to the pharmacy to refill his prescription for risperidone, an antipsychotic medication that he needed. He was informed by the pharmacy that he no longer had health insurance, and the 1 month refill would cost him $250. Now, to some people, $250 may not seem like a lot of money, but to Daniel, it was. And according to a 2018 study by the Federal Reserve, 40% of Americans would not be able to cover an unexpected $400 expense. Daniel, unfortunately, was one of them. So he did not buy the medicine, and he began to ration his antipsychotic medicine, taking it every other day until he could get his insurance back. He contacted his provider, Fidelis, at the beginning of April when he learned that they had canceled his plan because he missed a $20 payment. Fidelis didn't immediately reinstate the plan. Instead, the company informed him that his coverage would not resume until May 1st. This meant another month without a refill of his prescription, another month without the medicine Daniel needed to function. His ration of medicine had run out. On April 9th, filled with thoughts of suicide, a listed side effect for antipsychotic drug withdrawal, Daniel superglued his seatbelt shut, posted a farewell message on Facebook, and drove his truck into the river, ending his life. Daniel Desnoyers died at the age of 29 because he was late paying $20 to a corporation that pulled in more than $60 billion in 2018. Something is deeply wrong in this country, where we let a young man die because he cannot afford medicine that he needs, and when his insurance is taken away because of a $20 missed payment. Daniel died because we have a system that puts profits over patients, a healthcare system that does not guarantee basic care for all people is a healthcare system that is broken. Medicare for all could have prevented Daniel's death, and it could prevent the death of so many others. Lloyd Doggett's pharmaceutical bill that would hold these pharmaceutical companies accountable could have prevented Daniel's death. 28 million Americans are still uninsured, and millions more are saddled with high deductibles and high premium plans, which lead them to forego the care they need. Medicare for all is the plan that will guarantee every American the basic care that they have a right to. Daniel Desnoyers wasn't a perfect man. He didn't lead a perfect life, but he tried. And our nation owes it to him and others like him to make sure that they have the medicine they need to live with dignity. I will continue this fight for Daniel, for his father, for his family, and for all Americans. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back my.
So that was Congressman Ro Khanna, definitely one of the leading progressives in the country, on the House floor talking about Danny, who was 29. I spoke with Danny's father yesterday, obviously grieving, he and his wife. Danny was the father of two children. He was only 29 years old. When Congressman Khanna talks about him not being perfect, I talked to his father about it in the interview. Daniel had depression. He also had a side of mild psychosis. At times he was violent, including with some of the female partners he had. Obviously, nobody condones that. His father explained, which you'll see in the interview on Sunday, that when he was medicated and taking his medication routinely, there was no violence. He was not a violent person. He was a funny person, a sarcastic person, a joke, somebody who always wanted to play. I know his father is actually watching right now. Scott is in the live chat there if you want to send your condolences. We haven't edited the interview yet, so it's going to look a little choppy, but I figured I'd rather show you some of it and kind of tease the rest. On Sunday, it will be fully edited, but we don't see these stories in corporate media. And I also think it's important to point out, actually, I'm going to point this out after I show you just a little part of the interview. So again, it's not edited, but you'll get the point.
You read any medical journal, talk to any doctor, they will say the biggest side effect, or one of the biggest side effects of being pulled off an antidepressant like this is it will escalate the symptoms it was helping with. In other words, if you were prone to hurt yourself, you're going to be more prone when you lose this medication because of chemical imbalance. This is a known fact. The fact that his insurance was canceled. They sent out a letter, I believe, to his home address where he wasn't allowed to go because of the legal problems that he was having, and he wasn't living there. Even if it got forwarded properly through the mail, it still would have received at our house too late for him to know that he owed $20. So regardless, these symptoms, these things are put in place on purpose by the insurance companies. They know if they put these hurdles in, people are going to lose coverage, and they don't have to pay the benefits, and they make money. So they set this up to make money knowing that this would be the result. They know that if you're on these meds, you might have a percentage to do this type of thing. My son's not a percentage. Not just a percentage. He's my son. He's a father. He's a brother. He's an uncle. But these factors were all weighed out in front of our lawmakers, and they figured this is okay. This is acceptable that a percentage of people are going to go through what I'm going through so that the insurance company could save money. I was never politically active. 47 years old, I cast my first vote for Bernie Sanders. He got me politically activated. That year at phone bank for the first time, never believed in politics before. Bernie in 2016 made me aware, along with millions of other Americans, that there's better systems out there. I had no idea that other countries had single-payer systems. We were taught our whole lives that America has the greatest healthcare system in the world. And this is a lie. We might have the greatest doctors. We probably have the richest doctors for sure. And I don't blame the doctors. I don't blame the hospitals. And I don't blame the individual insurance companies. I blame all of them. I blame the lawmakers for allowing the insurance companies to do this to us. We need change. We need Medicare for all, and we need it now. We don't need to keep going through this sort of hell. My Bible tweet had thousands of other stories, just as bad, some worse than mine. I can't even fathom how there could be a worse story than mine. Every morning I wake up with the weight knowing I will never see my son again. I will never see his smile. I'm not the only one that's having this sort of crap going on in his life. And I can't just sit here and do nothing. I promised Danny's siblings at his wake that I will be on the Senate floor myself. I will look at these senators that make these decisions, and they will have to look me in the eye and see what decisions, the consequences of their decisions. They have to look at a father knowing that they took his boy away by their decisions. This has to change.
So that was Scott Desnoyers, father of Danny. And Danny was 29 years old. And in April, after getting cut off from his medication for depression and psychosis, got so depressed and suicidal that he drove his car. Well, first glued the seatbelt to himself and drove into a lake. Here's Danny with one of his children. The full interview with Scott will air Sunday during our show, our live stream. It'll be edited, so you won't see that black space and everything, but I wanted to show it to you, even unedited. And I think it's important to make a point that Hazel, that was Danny's child, Hazel. I want to make a point that mental health is just as as deadly as a physical illness. And I have depression. I take antidepressants. I was hospitalized a few years ago. I don't know if I've ever told everybody that. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. One of the bracelets I wear says strength on it. I got that in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I was depressed and had suicidal thoughts and all that. It's the first time I've ever had suicidal thoughts. It was very scary. And I was fortunate to have health insurance at the time. And I was also fortunate that if what happened to Danny, if his insurance got canceled abruptly over $20, and if that happened to me and the medication cost $250, I'm lucky that my parents have the money to help me out. Many people have family that cares but can't afford $250 for medication. I reached out to Fidelis Healthcare. I gave them very specific questions yesterday. I followed up today. Shockingly, they have not responded. The fact that Danny, and you're going to find out more about the story on Sunday, definitely watch. The fact that Danny, because the paperwork was getting sent to a house that he was not living in at the time, as far as I know, Fidelis didn't answer. As far as I know, did they try to call him several times to tell him he had a remaining balance of $20? If they couldn't reach him, did they try to contact his emergency contact over his bill? Did they try any other means than sending a bill for $20 before they canceled his insurance? I don't know, because they haven't responded to me. I'll keep following up with them, but I'm assuming they don't want this story to get any bigger than it should get. When an insurance company cancels a patient, I also ask them, is it an automated process, or do you actually have humans that work for you that are looking at each case? Because if it's humans that are looking at each case, you have to know that canceling somebody who's on this medication, that person without this medication will rapidly start having the symptoms that this medication helps. Depression, suicidal thoughts. So make no mistake about it. Danny was not perfect. His father and I talk about it in the interview. But this insurance company killed a 29-year-old with 2 kids by cutting off his insurance without even attempting. And again, I don't know. Maybe Fidelis did try to contact him and they couldn't get through, but they've had 2 days to answer me if that's the case. They have not answered me. They didn't try. As far as I know, they didn't try to contact him. They didn't try to contact his parents. They didn't give him more time or an extension. They didn't, if he was late for paying the $20, they didn't, instead of filling the whole prescription, filled half the prescription. Or filled, 7 to 10 pills. So if Danny would have went and realized, oh, why isn't this the full amount? He would have known they canceled your insurance. But the worst part, Danny found out that his insurance was canceled, I think at the end of March. So he called Fidelis in the beginning of April. He paid the $20 right there on the phone. But he was told, yeah, you'll be covered again as of May 1st. Well, would you tell an old lady on oxygen, if the same thing happened, would you tell an old lady who needs oxygen, you cancel their insurance? And, oh, you paid the balance, you'll get the oxygen and the coverage in a couple weeks? You want to know why you wouldn't tell an old person that? Because older people are on Medicare. And they're covered, period. There's no difference between needing oxygen, needing insulin, needing anything for physical ailments than needing medication, whether it's depression, whether it's psychosis, whether it's bipolar, whether it's schizophrenia, whether it's borderline personality disorder, whatever it is. And you know who I blame more than anyone else? And I'm not as angry and upset as Scott. I blame Nancy Pelosi. Let's forget the Republicans for a minute. I blame them too. But Nancy Pelosi is the top Democrat in the country. She's third in line to the presidency. She represents the most progressive state in the country, California. If she wanted to do it when she was Speaker of the House under President Obama, she could have helped push Medicare for All in when Obama was president. But she chose to push a Republican health care plan. Obamacare was originally a Republican health care plan hatched out of the Heritage Foundation. And why did she do that? Have anything to do with the pharmaceutical industry's lovely, lovely relationship with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party? Do you think California, which was on the verge of becoming the first state in the country to pass a state-based single-payer system, you think it would have passed if it had the backing of Nancy Pelosi? I think so. You can't defeat right-wing lunatic Republicanism with country club Republicanism. Nancy Pelosi is essentially the equivalent of, I don't know, Bob Dole. A 29-year-old is gone because healthcare in this country is connected to profit and money. You know, we have a lot of viewers that watch from around the world, and they just don't understand it. And I, in 2017, went to Germany, and I had dinner with a couple who watched me at the Young Turks. And we talked about it, and it was just like a way of life. Like, they didn't understand, like, yeah, our government pays for it. Because in some countries, governments actually, it's radical, represent the people. And actually care if the people live or die. So next time, you know, CNN or the New York Times, they talk about Medicare for All as like the extreme left. The extreme left. You want to know why they talk about it that way? Oh, because CNN, they get really good health care from that company. New York Times, they have a great health care plan. When I was at MSNBC, health care plan was pretty good. They don't have to worry about health care. But you know what? Right now, you know how much I'm paying right now for health care every month? And full disclosure, Mama Charity is helping me because I can't afford it on my own. I pay $630 a month for health care. That's before I have to pay copays or deductibles or all that stuff. Healthcare in America is health scam. And I'll tell you one thing. When all of these people start saying, fall in line, you know, stop it, you Bernie bros or you Tulsi bros and gals. Vote blue no matter who. We got to get Trump out of here. My answer, not if you don't fall in line with Medicare for All. You want us to fall in line? You fucking fall in line. You fucking fall in line and you cover human beings with healthcare. Period. Because, unfortunately, Scott's trauma and Scott's misery and Scott's pain is not going to be the last. In Danny's case, it's depression. In another case, it might be bipolar. In another case, the pain. I know people in Flint that have committed suicide because of the extreme pain they have because of lead poisoning, but they don't have health insurance after the government poisoned them. Pat the Batman fan, I ration my insulin. So when Kamala Harris on a CNN town hall says, I'm for Medicare for all, and then 24 hours, well, you know, I'm for a version of Medicare for all. When Beto O'Rourke says, I'm for Medicare for America. When Cory Booker, well, I don't care what Cory Booker says because I don't believe him. When Joe Biden says, no, you know, a lot of people like their employer-based health insurance. Not the people who get laid off from their employer, which is happening more and more in America and is going to be happening more and more in America because of automation over the next several years. We'll see the full interview with Scott on Sunday. We'll also see the full interview with Bill Binney on Sunday, NSA whistleblower. To Scott, I say, I'll do what I do for Flint, for Standing Rock. We'll do everything we can to keep this in the spotlight. I'm glad I saw your tweet. If you watching have a story like this, if you are rationing your medicine, if you've been canceled from insurance, if you don't have insurance but you need it, email info@statuscoup.com. Obviously, we can't cover every single story, but we do our best with very limited staff. But what I'm going to ask you folks is this. It's not just about the politicians to make what's wrong right. It's also about the media. You can't wake more people up to what's going on if they don't know about Scott's horrible story. Can't wake up the masses if these kind of stories are not going to be shown in the news media. But you can if there is independent media. You can if there is media that is not only willing to interview Scott, but is willing to go on the road and cover this oppression and murder up close. So I hope, if you're not yet with us, I hope you'll join statuscoup.com/join. I don't want to use this topic as a way to fundraise. So what I'm telling you is we will be able to cover more of this on the road if you join us for $5 to $10 a month. Because I know, I can't speak for Scott, but in all of his trauma over the last weeks, losing his kids, losing his son, and knowing that his grandkids don't have a father, I hope us covering it gives him a little relief from pain, just for a couple minutes. I hope. That's it for today. As I told you, we got a big surprise coming up Sunday. We think you're going to like it. Noon Eastern. Do not expect YouTube to notify you. Don't expect them to notify you on time. Put it in your phone, email yourself, set a reminder. We are live Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern. We are also live Sundays, noon Eastern. Sunday will be a marathon live stream. We're going to have the full interview with Bill Binney. We're going to have the full interview with Scott. We're also going to have a major surprise for you. That surprise is definitely going to involve needing to fundraise. That's all I'm going to say. So I hope before Sunday, you could go to GoFundMe and let us know how you feel. Thank you. Somebody just left an anonymous $5. So now we're at $54,264. Let's see if we can get to $55,000 before Sunday. $55,000 before Sunday would put us $30,000 from our goal, and then we could start Sunday $30,000 away. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern. Remember, most people are not lacking compassion. Most people have no clue what in the beep is going on in this country. Peace out.